In this video, we stick my pick in there. It's not going anywhere. Parkside. 70 degrees. Infamous biscuit jointer. 750 of each. And they seem strong. Following on from my last video where I bought a load of Parkside tools from Lidl, my favourite place, the middle aisle, this video is part 2. Let's unbox and test these DIY woodworking tools and see how good they are. Because the prices, as usual, are fantastic. Hello sheddies, and you join me again in my shed. First item, the Parkside Multifunctional Angle Gauge. £3.99. Bargain, I think. If you remember in the last video, I got one of them. Well, this was in the same basket, again £3.99. Great bit of kit, that. There's also a combination square. Well, I've got one of them, this one, so I didn't bother with that. There was also a gauge for cutting miters. I've already got one of them, one of these. I'll put a picture on the screen now of the one that was in Lidl. Brilliant bit of kit these are. So if you know what angle the piece of wood is and you want to cut a mitre, let's say a simple one, 90 degrees there, go to that arrow there. I've just drew these lines on actually to make it easier. 45-degree cut. And then if it's 80 degrees, 40 degrees cut, and so on and so forth. But we're talking about this for marking out bits of wood at different angles, but it's got another feature or a few more features. You can see a few on here for marking out from a corner of a piece of wood, drawing circles for measuring heights or depths. We'll come on to that. So for marking and transferring angles, heights, depths, for easy recording and marking inside, outside measurements. Let's open it up. And you'll notice straight away that that's separate because it's got a little magnet on the back. It fits onto there. Slide up and down, locks into place like in a groove there. Let's take that out. You can see how it sits in there. It serves two purposes. Let me get a piece of wood. Right, bit of plywood here. Right, if we want to draw a circle, tiny little hole there, and then we've got a little cutout just here. So we can slide that up and down, depending on what radius we want. Draw a circle, put a pin, whatever in there, or just a pencil in this case. We stick my pick in there. It's not going anywhere. This little notch here, we can put a pencil. Draw a circle. Or put it the other way around. We're going to cut a piece off there. 80 millimeters. Like that. But then, of course, the other use, take that off. Take the little screw bolt out. Use that hole again, but this time. And then we can work out what angle we want to draw a line out. So let's say 70 degrees. Perfect. Or on the corner there, we've got it at 80 degrees, but actually it's half. So if we had it at 90, straight on the corner, there's 45 degrees. We went to 80, that should be 40 degrees. You get the idea. I think I'm right with that. Plastic. Metal rule, really rigid, inches and in millimeters. Just thought of something. Have I got some? A bit of round wood. Let's say this can here, the lid is a piece of wood, circular. I'm going to find the centre of it. We'll set it to 90. Because it's got that little cutout there, we can go like this. If we were turning on the lathe. So on and so forth. And then we find the centre. Good. Next, remember this, the infamous biscuit jointer. Now, I did an unboxing on this, but I didn't use it. Because I've not really used one before, I thought I'd look at tutorials on how to use one properly. So I can show you in another video. So I've been watching videos on Woodworkers Guild of America, who are also the sponsor of this video. Woodworkers Guild of America are your go-to online resource for woodworking instructions, ideas, information. Basically, it's a community where passionate woodworkers come together to express their creativity and master their craft. Their website features a vast collection of woodworking tutorials, constantly updated with fresh content. You'll also find interesting articles, product reviews, project ideas and Q&As with expert woodworkers and loads more. Topics like wood turning, bandsaws, lathes, finishing, cabinet making, all sorts of woodworking techniques, including using the biscuit jointer, which I was most interested in. So here's George von Drisker doing a tutorial on the biscuit jointer. But of course, there's other techniques as well, like hand tools, gluing and clamping, jigs and fixtures. And of course here, just showing the basic use of the biscuit jointer, but there's also hints and tips on how you can use them more effectively Something here, for example, in reinforcing mitre joints, you normally expect to put it at 45 degrees. Well, if you put two pieces together like this at 45 degrees, you can set the biscuit jointer at 90 degrees and do both sides and then join them together. Who knew? And then conversations with people like Jimmy DeRista. We all know Jimmy, don't we? So I'm going to get used to the biscuit jointer and bring a video out on that. But I also want to watch videos on the lathe because I want to practice turning, because I didn't do particularly well the first time. And I know there'll be a load more topics on there that you'll enjoy as well. And as a member, you'll get access to the live streaming tutorials and also Q&As by the expert instructors, where they share the tips, answer questions, and engage with the Woodworkers Guild of America community in real time. So the first 1,000 of you that click in the link in the description below, you'll get a full year of the premium membership to the Woodworkers Guild of America for only $1.49, which is valid for new members only. So a massive thanks to Woodworkers Guild of America for sponsoring this video. Right, let's get back to the other Parkside tools that I've bought. Parkside biscuit jointer coming in a video soon because I've got to make some cabinets and some trolleys in the shed. Next, the Parkside adjustable trestle. There we go. One of them. In fact, I bought two of these, $14.99 each. Now, I briefly looked at the comments on the last video, actually, and someone mentioned that they don't fold up too well because they catch on some bolts, but we'll check that out. Maximum load, 200 kgs, 7 height settings, unfolded and folded, approximately 690 by 560 by 800 to 1300 millimeters, then folded 690, 170, so that's quite narrow, by 850 millimeters. Turn it round. The good thing about these, multiple uses, stopper, prevents the workpiece slipping off. Folds easy for transportation and storage. We'll see. Height adjustment from 800 to 1300 mil. Upper support bar features 2 fold-away safety locks. Heavy-duty steel, impact and scratch-resistant coating. Suitable for long pieces. Requires 2 trestles. I think we've seen the rest. Weight, 5.8 kilos each. Now, I've already got some trestles, but they're horrible plastic ones. They've lasted me years and they're just falling apart. They've served their time. Right, let's open it up. So, disassembled, of course. Good to see packaging material, stop them from scratching. Parkside. Bag of gubbins, bolts, nuts, washers, etc. Wow. That looks like the other legs. Instructions. Zoom out a little bit. Whoop. There we go. So it looks like the majority is built up. 2 of them. L section. The thought in here is instructions how to build it. All the parts you need. You need an adjustable spanner and a screwdriver. 4 different sizes of nuts and bolts, washers and nuts. And everything else. Easily shows you how everything connects together. And that's it. Right, I'll put you on time lapse. Let's build it. Right then, really easy to put together. I actually use my 4-volt new Parkside cordless screwdriver to do this. And this is a case where you really need to read the instructions because you assume that some of the bolts go in certain places, but they don't. So definitely worth reading the instructions. And probably best to do it on the floor. I've done it on my workbench just so you can see, really. But yeah, it's a bit awkward doing it on a bench. And I'm just building one for now because it's stiflingly hot in this shed. And as always, it's always worth doing the bolts finger tight first and then tightening them up properly when it's all assembled so you can get the bolts through the holes. And if you're enjoying this video, give me a thumbs up. It really helps the channel out. Cheers. So there it is, look, built up. Seems quite strong. It's got these tabs at the end there. And you can push them down or pull them up. So if you get a piece of wood on there, it doesn't slide off. Same on that side. It does say in the instruction manual not to be climbed on. I did wonder, you know, about having a couple of scaffolding planks on there for doing hedges and whatnot, but it says not to in the instructions. I've not built the other one yet because I'm stifling in this shed. It's red hot at the minute. It took me about 10 minutes to build it. It's just a shed, it's red hot. No insulation in the roof. That's something I'm going to do when I do the refurb. These are the tools I used. So I've got the cordless screwdriver that I've just bought. That's brilliant, that is. Adjustable spanner, 13mm ratchet spanner, and a 10mm normal spanner. Pins both sides on a chain, so you can slide them out. Try and do it with one hand. and then knock it down to whatever height you want. Like that. So a little chain to hold it in place. Same on that side. Parkside on the front. Really easy to put together. On this side, it's got a catch here. You lift up to fold it up, and then a little catch just there. When you do it, read the instructions properly, because they have to be a certain way around. And in fact, I put 2 of the smaller ones in both sides. So just read the instructions. So we're going to do this one as well. And the main... Ooh! Yeah, I'm doing this with one hand. Right. So when you fold it together, I can see whoever it was who commented. It was Stephen. Thanks, Stephen. Those bolts there stop it from folding all the way in. It's a little bit spread at the bottom there. But I suppose if we really wanted to, we could weld some studs on there or something. It's them 2 bolts at the front there. I'm sweating buckets here. I've got a fan in this shed, but I really need an aircon unit. So that's it. So we had 2 of them set up with a board across the top. It's good for a temporary workbench out in the garden or in the workshop. It's supposed to be good for car boots and markets as well. You want a temporary stand or you want to set your table up. Piece of wood over 2 of them, and you could have it as a decorator's table. Just for sawing down wood as well. I was thinking of using one for an outfeed for a table saw. And maybe make like a pole along there or something, like as a roller to roll it off. Don't know, I might look into that. And if we look at the bottom, it's got the rubber feet, angled. For cutting down 8x4 sheets, or maybe a piece of wood over the top, and you can have it like as temporary shelving maybe. Put boards on the top or scaff planks in your workshop or shed, and then store stuff underneath as well. I actually used my old rubbish plastic trestles in my house as like a workbench or a temporary workbench when I was doing my house renovations. Worked really well for that. The piece of wood at the top, and with polythene over, we can have it in the garden for storing things to keep them out of the way of the rain. Maybe having one higher than the other so rain can run off. And if we're spraying up wood or metal, or if we want to protect something that's on top, if we're dismantling a car door, for example, put foam over the top like pipe lagging. A table for parties maybe, out in the garden. We're talking about polythene, probably could make it into like a temporary greenhouse, or maybe like a mesh grill on the top between 2 of them, and we have it like a seed table for new seedlings out in the garden. So loads of uses, I don't think too bad. 15 quid, 2 of them, 30 quid. And they seem strong. Let me know what you use yours for. That helps me and others. Right then, next, screwdriver set. The long reach screwdriver set. £5.99. Made from high quality chrome, vanadium and SUP-11 steel. Magnetic tips. There's the sizes for the flathead. And then for the Phillips, 325mm long though. Set of 6. There they are. Right, let's open them up. Out you come. Look at them bad boys. Yeah, really. As we can see, rubber on the handle. A little hanger if you want to hang them, or you want to put a bar through them to give it a bit more torque from doing. Look at the length of them. Funnily enough, I used to have a set, and I lent them out years ago. God knows where they're gone. Yeah, you can see, look, magnetic tip. Here's the sizes of each one. Not much else to them, really. Look at the tiny that one is. Precision screwdriver almost. The length of that. So not bad, £5.99. Bargain. Next, £1.99 for a set of nails for my nail gun. And some staples. 15mm and 20mm, 1,500 of each. And the nails, type 47, 15mm, 20mm, 25mm, 32mm, 750 of each. That's not bad at all, is it? Sure, they were £1.99. Yeah, £1.99 a pack. So have a look. Hey, these will fit in my air gun, my Clark one, or air brad nailer, and also my battery operated one. There's the staples, the smaller ones, and the nails. Not much else to them, really. We know what they're all about. Next, I thought I had to get these. Assorted washers and assorted hex nuts. £1.99 a pack. And these are the boxes that stack on top of each other. Which is all good. And someone mentioned to me, yes, it's good to stack. But the problem with that is, if you want to slide one out from underneath the other, they're stacked up high, you can't slide from one under the top one, but either way, there they are. So a plethora of washers. Oh, some sprung washers in there as well, look. I can hardly talk, I've got sweat running down my face. They're all sprung washers and standard washers. There's the sizes if you want them. And look like nylock nuts. There we go. Nylock and standard nuts. Little compartments. And there's all the sizes if you want them. Already got boxes like this that stack on these, like the Jubilee clips, the rivets. What else is there? Oh, the hooks. I think R clips as well. So yeah, I quite like them, how they stack on top of each other. And the clear so you can see where everything is. And also the new brochure of stuff that's coming out in Lidl from the 3rd of July to the 9th of July. Cakes. Oh, look at them. Would you? Robotic lawnmowers coming back, 200 quid. Petrol grass trimmer, reduced to £99 with a Lidl Plus app. And Karcher pressure washer this time, not their own brand. 90 quid, 120 bar. Plant watering spikes. And that is about it for tools, but that looks cheap. Livano, a folding gazebo. I've had these before. They're really handy, easy to put up. Normally 90 quid, reduced to 70 with the Lidl Plus app. Ooh, air fryer with grill and smoker. And a barbecue oven. Let me know what you're getting and anything else in the comments. I also picked up these from Lidl, but I ain't got a chance to look at them now. I'll bring it out in the next video. By Patex, £2.50 a pack. Power putty and assembly adhesive for indoor and outdoor. We'll look at them in the next video. And before I forget, I got another one, the 6-sided angle measuring tool. If you remember in the last video, I'm going to do a giveaway on this. The details are in the video before this one to enter. And you get a sticker as well. Tool lover. Right, I'm done. I need to get insulation in this roof or I need to get an aircon unit. As usual, put your comments below. Anything you like, tools you're buying, things I've got wrong, anything, your thoughts, experiences, whatever, stick them below. Also, if you give me a thumbs up, really helps the channel out. And if you're new here, subscribe. Got loads more videos to come and loads more like this. And in fact, I'll put my playlist on the screen somewhere now, showing all my other tool reviews. So thanks for watching. Thanks to Woodworkers Guild of America for sponsoring this video. And I'll see you next time. Take care. And remember, keep calm and head to the shed. Cheers. See you next time on Weekend Shedhead.